Hello, this is Kami. So as you know, the Terrace Cup is coming soon and it seems like lots of you guys don't want to be nice. So let me introduce the ultimate debuffer guide with nice nature, or maybe not so nice. Anyways, even if you don't want to prepare for the Terrace Cup, this guide is going to be useful for future medium range champions meetings too, so feel free to save the video for future use. First of all, before we start, I want to tell you what a debuffer is and where do we use one. Debuffers are basically Umas with lots of red skills, which weakens the performance of the opponents. Note that debuff skills only work on opponents but not your teammates, so don't worry about that. You mostly see debuffers in PvP like champions meetings. They almost never win themselves, but they help your star Uma get the victory much more often. Although some might use them in team trials, I would only recommend you to use them in champions meetings. Now, what's the most important thing for building a debuffer? There are two things. First, raise your wit to as high as you possibly can, and second, stack as many red debuff skills as you can afford. And for debuff skills, you can see different red skills in the game. Those that induce panic or fatigue, those that lower speed, acceleration or stamina, or those that shrink vision. So, which skills should we choose? In these skills, the worst are those that shrink vision, as vision is, well, quite useless. And those that induces panic or fatigue, like frenzied or trick skills, as they only work when someone is rushing. For those that lower acceleration, there isn't much that we can use in medium range, so we can neglect them. But if you see some, they're mostly quite useless. Others are all quite useful, so try to learn as much of these as possible, like hesitant, subdued, and flustered. Panic skills are less effective, but still worth considering if you need to fill out your skill set. And vision reduction skills, well, absolutely useless. Don't learn them at all. I would say you'd want at least 8 red skills minimum for a good debuffer, but of course, if you can get more, that's brilliant. After that, we'll deal with the trainees. Of course, not so nice nature is our first choice, but also it applies to those Umas that have the gold skill dominator, like Agnes Tachyon, Symboli Rudolph, and Grass Wonder. For Nate, I'd recommend you raise her potential level to level 5, as both gold skills are going to be very useful. For Sparks, it doesn't really matter, so don't stress out too much, as our main goal is just to pass the URA Finals. I did 6 speed, 6 stamina, 6 power here, but feel free to bring whatever you have. Then, we'll go to the support deck. Here, I'm going to explain the importance of each card. The most important card here is the Symboli Rudolph R card. This is because she not only gives the subdued skill to every running style, but also she gives Tether, which is the white version of Dominator. Then, it's Marvelous Sunday. She gives out hesitant front runners and pace chasers, while giving decent wit training. Agnes Tachyon here gives out Tether with hints, and subdued front runner and late runner savvy with her events, which increases wit, and therefore skill activation rates. The Air Groove card gives out flustered and hesitant end closers, while Rise Shower gives frenzied, subdued, and flustered pace chasers. Kita-san Black here is only for the sake of increasing speed for Nate to pass the URA, so you can change her to other cards like Saturno Diamond for Tether, Flustered and Hesitant frontrunners, or fine motion for more wit. And then to the training. Instead of a point system, I explain the priorities of training simply. The most important is hints for red skills, except Kita-san Black, as she gives out nothing useful really. Then it's wit training and races. At first year, you can build up the friendship gauges first, or you can focus on wit training straight away. For the New Year events, choose the bottom for both years and race as much as possible for more skill points. Try to get 100,000 fans before the classic year ends and 240,000 fans before the senior year ends. These gives out an extra 60 skill points in total. Here, for skills, once you got a hint of a red skill, you can learn them straight away. This ups the odds of unlocking new red skill hints from your supporters. And finally, we go to how to use them. In the incoming Taras Cup, I'd say that you can bring 1 to 2 debuffers, for example, a team of Goldship, Nicenature and Grasswonder would work perfectly. The stats do not have to be high, just keep the wit as high as possible. Remember that their job here is to support your star Uma, not to win. Speaking about the Taras Cup, you can check out this video from this Taiwanese player for more tips in your main Uma. I've got the link in the card here and also in a previous community post. As usual, I've also attached the Nati training video down below in the description, so feel free to check it out too. Also, after the S-Rank Guide Q&A Part 2, I was wondering to do some IRL horse racing stuff like the real stories of characters in Umamusume. The actual inspiration behind some of your favourite Umas. How do you guys think about that? I can assure you that the stories are immensely fascinating and interesting. And that's basically it. I'll probably release the S-Rank Guide Q&A Part 2 video tomorrow, so keep an eye on that too. If you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, what team are you building in the Taras Cup? I'd like to see what you guys are working with. If you have other questions for me, feel free to comment down below. This is Kami. Good luck in Taras and see you next time.